Hi friends, this is Leslie from The Whole Shebang. I wanted to post a video today about frugal thoughts, as I call them. I have been busy with 4th of July stuff and getting stuff around the house done and cleaning up. Some people call it a death pile. I have what I call is my death house. And just trying to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff while I still, while it's nice weather and I'm motivated. The thing I wanted to talk to you today about is one of the prime things about being a frugal person in order to save money. I think one of the things you have to think about all the time is the thought of, and what I tell my husband all the time is, we have to do the math. We have to do the math on this. Every time there's a question of whether or not we should spend something or spend money or do something, it's, well, let's do the math on this. And I think that when people start doing the math, it will make them reconsider purchases. It may make also them look twice at purchases, as well as opportunities and things like that. For instance, one of the things that I always remember is when my kids were young, we had them in several day camps for the summer. This is July 9th or something today. And we were spending money for these day camps. And they would come home from camp at 3:30. Some of them had things at night, and some of them had, we were just all over the place, and it was a really crazy, hectic time instead of being fun and relaxing. And I remember a friend of ours had suggested that we rent their place down the beach for the month, for a couple weeks. And I remember doing the math. I said to my husband, let's do the math. Let's figure this out. Let's add up the cost of all these camps that we were going to spend that coming up summer. And would it be better for us to maybe just get a place down the beach? We live outside of Philadelphia, so I think we were in Ocean City that summer. And it ended up being economically cheaper because we were renting from a friend directly. We were close to the beach. My kids had an amazing summer. And I'm sure they remember that more than the week they may have spent at baseball camp or, whatever. I mean, we would do camps for a couple of weeks at the beginning, like short little day camps, like week-long camps. And then pretty much August, we would go down to the beach. For the entire month, and they will hopefully remember that for the rest of their lives. And most importantly, it was cheaper than if we had spent paying for those individual camps for the month of August. While I was a stay-at-home mom while they were younger, we live in an area where there are not a lot of young people, so I would actually have to, we would go to the pool and things like that, but that would get old after a while. So they really enjoyed doing these camps. So doing the math is a way in which we suddenly realized it's actually cheaper for us to go down to for me and the kids to go down to the beach for the summer, for the month of August, rather than staying up here. The other thing that I always remember is we did the math. We have an old house, and we were considering whether or not we should get new windows. The way we had paid a lot, they were pretty drafty, and I remember, but the cost of the windows was really expensive. And we had a service, our house is so old that we had a service that came in every year and would put on these old-fashioned screens and then these old-fashioned thermal windows, but they were pretty old. And when I factored that in, the cost of the tipping of the guys and everything else, it made the cost of the windows, we suddenly realized that we would basically recoup the cost that we had initially put out for the windows in about 6.5 years, and that was about 15 years ago. So we did the math and realized that getting the new windows, and I can remember immediately that winter realizing that we were able to keep our thermostat at a much lower amount and still feel the same warmth. I remember before you could almost see the wind coming through when I had the heat at 72, and I was able to keep it at 68, and we'd be very comfortable. So again, you have to look at things. You have to do the math for everything. One of my other examples that I told my friends about is they used to comment all the time about my boys had a lot of Lego sets. And when there were times when they were younger and I was trying to get some work done around the house, I could have hired a babysitter to take care of my 5 kids. But instead, what I would do is I would go up and I would buy them each a $8.99, $9.99 Lego set. Sometimes the girls would get a Barbie doll or something like that. And I would buy them these Lego sets. For the 5 of them, it would be under $40 for all this. and we would make a big day about going up there and getting it. I would get some shopping done while I was doing it at the same time. We would come back. They would be given their toy. It wasn't every day. It was once a month. But I would get work done and be able to get stuff accomplished for 3 to 4 hours. And it was actually cheaper for me to hire, to buy these little toys, and made them happier than if I'd had a babysitter come. So I would be able to get 4 or 5 hours worth of work, and they would be playing in the backyard, or they'd be playing down in our basement with their new things. And at the end, I would add the Barbie doll to the stash of Barbie dolls, and I would add the Lego sets into the stash of Lego sets, and we got years and years and years of enjoyment out of them. So again, it may have seemed somewhat indulgent that I was buying my children these Lego sets and Barbie dolls, but really it was a better financial deal for us to buy the Lego sets and Barbie dolls rather than me having to pay a babysitter in order to get some stuff done around the house. So these are just examples. That's my it's probably going to go off, and then it's going to make this really ugly sound. So I might, no, that's the American Red Cross calling me. It's a scam. Anyway, that's another thing. Sign up for the do not call, because I just signed up for the do not call list. It's been years. But anyway, hopefully you will start to do the math. If I'm assuming you have already been doing that, but if you haven't, please start doing the math. It will make a big deal. And my last thing is, instead of thinking about, is this a good deal? It's on my notes here. I'm looking down. Instead of thinking of, is this a good deal? Think about it. Is this a way for me and or my family to save money? So things may not seem like a good deal at the time, but if it's a way for you and your family to save money, it's ultimately the best financial decision. So that's my advice for you for the day, is do the math. I hope you are enjoying. I've only put out a couple of these frugality YouTube videos. If you would like to get more, please let me know what kind of things you've done that have helped you do the math and you realize have helped you save money. I will please like and subscribe to my videos if you like them. And thank you so much for watching this one. Thanks. Bye-bye.